Kerry, what is an audit shield insurance?
It's an insurance policy that you can take out through your accountant that insures you against any investigation by a government department. So right now, everybody should be getting a notice from their accountant saying, look, it's time to renew it. If you haven't got your notice, you need to actually go and ask your accountant why they aren't doing it, because it's of great value to you. It just means that, let's say IRD come and have a look, you're fully insured against the cost of their investigation in terms of your accountant's fees, lawyers' fees, that sort of thing.
So it's if a farmer though is straight down the line, there should be nothing to worry about.
You'd think so, but like I've just had a case recently where a farmer went and bought 2 brand new tractors, applied for a GST refund, and of course IRD held it up and said, no, we don't want to do that. We want to investigate why you're getting such a large refund. So the moment they gave us the notice, we let the insurer know, and they started picking up the tab for all our costs. So by the time we sort of met with IRD, got them the invoices, and actually got the final refund, it was 3 or 4 months down the track and $800 of our cost to get them the refund, and the farmer didn't have to pay that. It was all covered by the insurance policy.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that makes a bit more sense. Is it expensive?
Depends on a few factors, but it's generally sort of about $300 upwards for a 12-month policy, and it is good value, especially if you get a lot of refunds, because eventually you're going to get that tap on the shoulder that they want to know what's going on.
How come you're getting so many refunds and you still have to pay tax and it doesn't balance?
Exactly, yeah, and that's where this audit shield is perfect. You can just hand it all over to your accountant, he does all the work, and you just sit back and wait for the refund to arrive, and knowing that there's no bill for you at the end of it.
Because that's an interesting thing that I've just stumbled on, really, is that if you do your tax return and you've got X numbers of dollars that you're talking about, and then they look at the GST and the 12 GSTs aren't the same as that.
Yeah, they do a very good match up now. So especially from the income point of view, obviously you've got to declare all your income to IRD. If those two don't match, then they will actually ask you why. And we get that for a lot of exporters where they might put a GST return and forget to put down their zero-rated exports overseas. Mm-hmm. And of course they say, well, how come your income's not the same as what you've declared? We're obviously missing some GST, and then you've got to go through the rigmarole and explain it all to them. So,
and that ties really nicely back to the shield, audit shield.
Exactly, yep. So insurance. In that case, we just let the insurer know and they pick up the bill again.
Yeah. What's happening with the OCR?
Well, as we know, the Reserve Bank have left it at the 2.75. He's sort of hedging his bets a little bit. The general consensus is that it's going to come down again. The talk is probably December. We might see a rate cut. And if it doesn't happen in December, then definitely one early next year, and it's going to be for quite a period of time. It's going to be well
So
done.
that will help with people with mortgages, won't it?
Oh, yeah, those that have got farm debt, they're going to be very pleased with the rates coming down. The banks are out there offering good deals. I wouldn't be locking them in for a long term.
You wouldn't?
No. I've just seen someone that's come to us, they locked one in for 5 years about 9 months ago, and of course their rate's actually very high compared to what they can get now, and they're trapped because there's such a high cost to come out of it. So, and you need to sort of look at how you're going to split your loans up over different periods as well, just to sort of, in case you get a windfall cash or you need to do something in a hurry, you've got a bit of flexibility.
I was talking to someone during the week and they said that the secret is to go to about 3 different banks so that you haven't got all your eggs in one basket. But I'm not sure what the chartered accountant's view would be on that.
We actually tell people to shop around. So I'm doing one at the moment.
Shop around but not spread around.
Well, yeah, we might actually. We've got one bank where they're prepared to finance the assets but not the actual, the plant and machinery, but not the farm. And I've got another one that's prepared to put the debt onto the farm. So we are going to be splitting the bank debt between 2 different banks. And they've both got very competitive rates. One just said, no, we're not interested in land. We just want to take all the assets. Because
the conversation was based around, if you've got 2 or 3 banks, you're not going to have one that's going to put the skids under you.
Exactly, yes. Yeah, it is true. They'll sort of hang in there and not take too much of an action.
Do they talk to each other?
They say they don't.
But that's a very nice way of answering that question.
The rural guys are very friendly with each other. The one that I'm doing at the moment, they know that one part's doing the other and the other's doing the other bit, and I haven't told them that part. One of them just said, oh, you're talking to so-and-so about it. I was like, yep, yeah. So they do talk.
Yeah. Rolling through, what about wills?
Just a bit of a heads up for people that, they put in their wills that they want to leave inheritances to certain parties like nieces, nephews, or, the former neighbour or a piece of machinery to somebody. If you do die, your executive of your will needs to find those people. Now, if they're still in the local district, that's reasonably easy. If they can't find them, then eventually that money will end up in Crown hands. So we're just saying to people, look, if you're leaving it to family that's not well known in the district, or a neighbour that's moved somewhere else, just put their name and address down with your will and keep it up to date. So at the moment the executive picks it up, they can go, oh yeah, that's where this person is, and get hold of them straight away. It also keeps their costs down.
Which is a very good thing for a chartered accountant to be talking about.
Yes.
I mean, you're known to be cautious, you chaps.
Yeah, and that's what we're sort of taking this line, that you've got to keep a record of where people are at. People move around a wee bit nowadays, and especially if you've got a nice piece of vintage machinery or something, the last thing you want is that to be just sold up and the funds end up in the Crown's hands.
Yeah. I think the important thing is that if you talk to somebody like Harmons or whoever, they'll say that you should visit your will every 1 to 2 years anyway.
Oh, as a minimum, yeah, definitely. And if there's any sort of family changes, so you've got nieces and nephews that are suddenly in a relationship you don't like, or your grandkids come along, then you should automatically go and have a look at the will anyway.
Company structures, that's another thing, isn't it? If you're having to put that in your will.
Yeah, that's got a lot of implications with it. A lot of people just say, I'm going to leave the shares to so-and-so. If you've got a major asset owned by a company, then you probably also need to be thinking about whether you should have a family trust.
And the trusts and wills work hand in hand?
They definitely go together, yeah. The purpose of your trust is to sort of make sure your major assets are sitting in there so that your trustees know what to do with them, whereas in a will, it's really just your personal chattels and a bit of money, hopefully in your own name, that you can sort of distribute.
So that's where the chartered accountant and the lawyers and the owners all sit around a table.
Yeah, ideally you want your banker if there's debt involved. So you have your banker, your lawyer, your accountant, and the farmer all sitting around a table, sort of planning out what the future is and what the farmer wants to do when they are gone.
Brilliant. Thank you very much indeed, Kerry.